Cartoon recaps here. Today I will be continuing the animation series called Wu Ging Ji. Spoilers ahead, relax and enjoy. Before I begin, let me quickly recap what happened in the last episode to carry you guys along. As we all know, the Heavenly Emperor was finally killed, but all these occurred due to the betrayal from the Heavenly Elder, Shen Yan. He proposes peace to Wu Gang and the Dark Ones, promising to give them back their land, and as well grant the people in Earth freedom as soon as they agree to stop the war. Wu Gang accepted the proposal, and they all went back rejoicing and dancing, and as well paying their respect to all the heroes that died in the war, especially Nishanurxing. Because without them none of their goals would have never been accomplished. Unfortunately, their celebration was cut short when a large swamp of fish started chasing after them. They realized they were only fooled by the Heavenly Elder once again, who released a deity called the Nothingness to kill them. This creature is so deadly to the extent that if it touches you, you will be turned into a decay corpse. Wu Gang and the Dark Ones tried to fight against it, but their powers and techniques were no match for the creature. Luckily they managed to make their escape, but at the cost of one of them sacrificing himself in the process. They found themselves in a more bigger problem when some heavenly beings shows up in their ship and started attacking them. These mysterious beings managed to destroy their ship, which separated them. Ziyu, Chief Konkei, and half of their army are nowhere to be found, while Wu Gang, Bei Kai, Nezha and the rest of the generals are the only ones revealed to have survived. He later gets a message from Ziyu, who informs Wu Gang that they are all fine, and they have gone on a mission to investigate about the mysterious beings that attack them. Wu Gang meets with the ancestor of the Dark Ones, who told him that the Nothingness can only be defeated by a weapon which was being used by the God of War. When the God of War died, the weapon is revealed to have been destroyed into 5 shards. The ancestor suggested to Wu Gang to find the shards of the weapon and join the pieces together, which will be able to repair the blade of the God of War, which can be used to defeat the Nothingness. The ancestor gives him one of the shard that is revealed to be in his possession, and Wu Gang immediately goes on a journey with his team to find the remaining shards he can use to complete the weapon. They discover the second part of the weapon is with the guardian of the netherworld called Shen Tian. Things didn't go as planned, as Shen Tian only kept on attacking, instead of trying to reason with them. He realizes he has no head, which means he can't see. That's why he attacking them, thinking they are enemies. Shen Tian head was sealed by the gods years ago, and according to the ancestor advice, they decided to go on a journey to find Zion Tian head, believing when they do so, it will please the Titan enough to hand them the second shard. Wu Gang and the generals of the Dark Ones defeated a secret clan called the Shadow Race, and they were able to retrieve the head of Shen Tian. They returned Shen Tian head back to him, only to realize they made a really big mistake, because the head was possessed by the Nothingness. Years ago, Shen Tian is revealed to have engaged in a war with the Nothingness for the sake of the world, but seeing it cannot be defeated, decided to store the essence of the creature in his head, telling his wife called the Fire Goddess to behead him, so the creature won't have control over his body. Now that Wu Gang has placed the head back on Shen Tian, the Nothingness has now gained control over the Titan body, who started to attack them. Wu Gang uses the only option left by placing a gunpowder on Zion Tian body and causing a really massive explosion, which finally brought out the creature out of his head. Wu Gang knows that if the Nothingness leaves and goes into the world, there will be a really huge misfortune on the people. Wu Gang suddenly decided to absorb the Nothingness inside his body, and uses his soul powers to prevent the creature from taking control over his body. Shen Tian thanks Wu Gang for freeing him after so many years, and in gratitude, he willingly gives Wu Gang the second shard of the warlord sword. Wu Gang hears voices inside the netherworld, and suddenly gets this feeling that the third shard of the weapon will be in there. Shen Tian is the guardian of the netherworld, and he is the only one who has the power to open the gates of hell. He helps them open it, which allows Wu Gang and his friends to pass through. They were so shocked when they saw how beautiful and magnificent the netherworld looks like, because this isn't the way they expected it to be. As soon as they divided themselves to find the third shard of the weapon, Wu Gang started to see illusions. He sees a really huge city, and even sees one of his old friend called Zhang. He finds himself teleported to another realm where he sees a deity using the soil to create human beings. Wu Gang hears a voice from a mysterious person, who told him that he is trapped in a place called the Sea of Memories. With her help, he is able to break free from there, and is brought back to consciousness. He sees his friends also trapped in the Sea of the Memories, and that was how this episode ended. Next episode begins with Wu Gang, who is able to use his divine monochrome powers to also pull his friends out of the Sea of Memories. They suddenly saw a fireball directed towards them, but Wu Gang is able to use his monochromatic walls to block the attack. An elderly woman with wings and fire all around her body approaches them. Her name is revealed to be called Han Ba, who wants to kill Wu Gang because the nothingness is inside his body, even though he guaranteed her that he is totally in control of the creature. Han Ba is the wife of Shen Tian, who is revealed to have the third shard of the weapon in her possession. She believes no one can ever resist the temptation of the nothingness, and attacks Wu Gang before the creature will take control of him. She attacks them with a huge fire, ignoring all their explanation. But of course Wu Gang and his friends didn't stay silent, as they unleashed their powers to defend themselves. Wu Gang brought out the power of his gauntlet, and he tossed Han Ba inside a lava with just a punch. Thinking she's defeated, Han Ba emerges out of the lava really furious, who decided to take her fight with him more seriously, by unleashing a really massive fire which could have killed Wu Gang. But he finds himself teleported to another realm. The person who saved his life was a spirit called Bu Wen, who was formerly part of the commanders of the Dark Ones. As they ride on a boat, Bu Wen tells him that she is taking him to the location of the extinct sun, where he can be able to draw so much energy, strong enough to overcome the fires of Han Ba. In conclusion, she begs Wu Gang that when he defeats her he should not kill her, revealing that Han Ba is no other person than her mother. She drops at the location of the extinct sun, and goes away, believing he can be able to get to the sun on his own. Wu Gang sees a gigantic pig monster in that place, who is fighting with a guy who looks like a god shooting arrows. Wu Gang goes to defend the guy, who claims the big monster is the god of rain, who intended to cause a huge disaster on the world, so he had to fight it and imprisoned it at this place, where he keeps ensuring the monster doesn't break free and go to the human realm. This big monster has the ability of using the rain to transform an object into a weapon, he imagines, which gives the pig the upper hand in the fight against Wu Gang, who never knew about this ability. He was able to unleash the power of his gauntlet, and with a strike, he was able to put the monster to sleep. The guy is thankful to Wu Gang for helping him put such a beast back to prison, but curiously questions him why he is looking for the extinct sun. This guy reveals himself as a god called De Yi, who normally uses his divine bow and arrows to fight his enemies. After finding out that Wu Gang wants to use the extinct sun to save someone, he suddenly began to lead him to the location of the sun. De Yi claims not to be like the rest of the greedy gods, and tells him a story that happened thousands of years ago, about how powerful creatures like dragons and gigantic serpents came into the world to end the humankind. De Yi, seeing this, gave himself the responsibility to hunt down the monsters, which is why he was also referred to as the Hunter. During the days of war between the heavens and the powerful beings of all races, De Yi fell in love with a girl, and decided to live with her peacefully, isolated from everyone. One day, the heavenly elder Shen Yan showed up at his house along with the Saint Kings and took his wife as hostage, threatening him to join their evil course. De Yi could not agree on the god's proposal, and after a few days of training, he suddenly entered the heavens and battled with the gods single-handedly in order to rescue his dear wife. Unfortunately, he stepped on a trap which was set by the heavenly elder, and his divine powers was reduced drastically because of that. They placed him in prison underground, and Wu Gang is revealed to have freed him from that prison some time ago. To cut the long story short, De Yi finally takes Wu Gang to the extinct sun. Wu Gang immediately approaches the sun and uses an artifact container to try and absolve the sun, but he was stopped by another really huge monster called Zhao Qi, a legendary beast who loves to feed on humans, and normally causes disaster in all the three realms. The gods was able to put him under their command to watch the sun, preventing anyone from taking it. The beast is the only thing now stopping him from taking the sun, so he fearlessly engages in a battle with it. De Yi, seeing Wu Gang wasn't able to handle the beast on his own, goes to assist him in the fight, by using his divine arrows to aim it directly at its heart. But shockingly, he also used his arrow to try and kill Wu Gang. He found out that the nothingness is inside the body of Wu Gang, and with all the powers he possesses, he believes if the nothingness manages to gain control over him, he will be unstoppable. Because of this, De Yi wants to kill Wu Gang to prevent this from happening. They both had a very intensive battle against each other, until they got to the rays of the sun, where De Yi reveals that he never actually wanted to fight him, but explains that the gods were actually watching them, and if they find out he is in a good relationship with Wu Gang, they will kill his wife. The rays of the sun is so bright, which prevented the heavens to keep on spying on them. This sun is 1 out of the 10 sun in the land. As Wu Gang goes to absolve the energy of the sun, something scary started to occur, as the dark creature inside of him appeared in form of his reflection, telling Wu Gang to let him take control over its body, and he will grant him powers beyond his imagination. Wu Gang is able to ignore the words of the nothingness, and with courage and determination, Wu Gang was able to refine the sun and store it inside his gauntlet, making it extremely powerful than it was before. We find out that Han Ba didn't hurt the friends of Wu Gang, because it's actually Wu Gang that is her target. After a few moments, Wu Gang shows out from nowhere, and unleashes both his powers and the combined powers handed over to him to fight Han Ba. He overpowered her using the various skills and techniques he was applying, and suddenly manages to defeat her. Han Ba realizes that Wu Gang is willing to sacrifice himself just to put the world at peace, and gives him the third shard of the weapon which is in her possession, but tells him that if the dark creature still manages to gain control over his body, she will be the first person to come for him. In order for him to find the next shard of the warlord weapon, she tells him to go to a really huge city called Fengdu, and gives them a boat to help them in a faster transportation to the place. Fengdu is known to be a good place for farming, and all kinds of big gifts and recreational activities also occurs in this place. As they entered the gates, they wondered why the guards there didn't stop them for inspection, or could it be a trap? This city is a very strange place, as we see some citizens lying lifelessly on the ground, while some was strolling around the city like a zombie. They saw a man dressed up like a priest who gathered all the people, and began to lie to them about the nothingness just being a disease, and that is what is infecting the people around the city. Wu Gang laughs at how ignorant the people in the city are, because the nothingness is well known as a deity. The priest claims to the desperate people in the city that he has a cure to this disease, as he brought out a shining orange orb which he calls the egg of eternal life. A man brings his half-dead son in front of the priest begging for healing. The priest placed the shining orange orb inside the little kid's mouth, and he immediately regained consciousness. The people in the city were so astonished seeing this, and desperately went to give it a try. Wu Gang knew something is not right and became suspicious of the priest, after seeing the child he just healed standing like a statue. As the priest goes away with a menacing smile, that was how the episode ended. Thank you for watching, guys. If you love animation movies, please subscribe to this channel and keep watching. Bye.